I man, I know nobody's probably gonna be seeing this because it is very early in the morning. It is. It's 7:44. Um, I just want to say that I honestly I really do hate the internet. I really do. I hate the wicked people in this world. The wicked and just disgusting freak. Just downright disgusting people in this world. And I know I made a post recently saying that I gave my life to Jesus, in which I did. I do. I really do. I really do. Not really do. I'm really glad that I did that, but I think that God knows the future, and I think some people on this planet just they don't deserve. They do not deserve to have been born. Like I don't get why some people on this planet were born and God knew like that they like such horrible things. But to add a little context to what I'm talking about, I tried to make a YouTube short and I made a TikTok and I don't even use TikTok. Um, Post about what I'm trying with the context is that I'm talking about. You got, last Saturday, I was it was like the middle of the night. It was almost maybe 11, maybe 12 o'clock, and I was I just got finished scarfing down, just stuffing food down my throat, and I quickly ran upstairs and I said, you know what, I'm tired. I want to go to bed. I didn't even give grace for the food, and I probably should have done that. And I regret not giving grace for the food. I usually do that, but I went on Twitter and I regret ever making a Twitter account, ever. I wish Twitter never even existed. I wanted to see the Gypsy Crusader and Super Hot Fire fight that was going on last Saturday. So I said, let me go on Twitter, let me see what happened. Let me maybe Super Hot won, Gypsy Crusader probably won, but let me just see what happened. And thank you for the person that just joined and liked the stream and then left. It doesn't really matter, but um, and I was pretty much just doom scrolling. So y'all know doom scrolling. Like you're randomly you're just scrolling through stuff. You're not world. You're just scrolling through anything, and Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, whatever social media that you use, Facebook. That's what I was doing on Twitter. So as I was scrolling through the comments, I saw funny comments. I saw funny gifs. People were making I'm not making fun of Super Hot, but they were like, oh, also, of course, you got the racist people that were in the comments as well. So I saw all that and I got to the very bottom and it said show probable spam. And I clicked that. And then once I saw that, I saw a tweet that said chew high, chew day, something like that. What's up, Pritchard family? I really do hope that you're not a child. Um, if you are, this stream isn't for you, man. I'm gonna be honest. It's not. But welcome to the stream. No, but if you are a underage, if you are a child, I'm gonna have to ask you to not be here. Or I'll just say if you are, just just be safe on the internet, please. Please be safe on the internet. Please don't go DMing random people that you don't know. Please don't. But if you are a child, then I mean you can stay to hear what I have to say, but it's not really meant for your ears. Um, but thank you for coming by though. Anyway, yeah, have a good one, bro. Have a good one. Um, so as I was scrolling, I saw that tweet. It said shoot A, shoot high, and usually since I was doom scrolling, I didn't really care what it was. But usually shoot A, you see shoot A, shoot high, whatever the heck that means. I don't really know what that means or how to even pronounce it or say it. That usually is like some very it's basically just corn. Replace the C with P, and I can't really say it on YouTube. Um, but when I clicked it, not really realize like, hey, you shouldn't have done that. Like, you really shouldn't be trying to see that stuff anyway. So I clicked it, and my consciousness didn't, or me not really thinking. I clicked it and I saw what what I put in the title, which you guys are reading, CSAM or CP. And I didn't really click on. I didn't really see like the full image, but I could gather what it was. And that moment, I was like, what I don't even curse or cuss, whatever. But in my head, I said, what the FUCK? What in the actual FUCK did I just freaking see? And immediately I scrolled all the way back up. And I just had to like collect myself. I had to collect myself because I'm like, dude, what did I just see? I've seen some pretty disturbing stuff on the internet. I've seen gore. I've seen any probably messed up thing that you can possibly see on the internet. I've probably seen it. Do I regret seeing that stuff? Yes, yes, I do. I don't proudly admit like, oh, I've seen, I've seen gore. No, no, I do not. I do not. I'm not a person that casually will just go on the internet and say, oh, well, let me just go on Lively and watch some gore. No, I can't do that. That stuff makes my stomach sick. Even seeing it just randomly. I don't even know how people can just casually just watch people die in probably the most disgusting ways. So I'm not that kind of person to just, you know, look for that stuff. But I have seen some pretty disturbing stuff on the internet. So when I saw that, I was like, okay, I gotta, there's food. Okay, there was food still in my stomach and my chest, and my both of those things were really bothering me. But then I started panicking. I genuinely just started panicking. I didn't know. I did not know what I just saw or what just happened. So at that point I had a panic attack, and I genuinely thought that I was like I now I know it was a panic attack, but at the time I thought it was maybe like a heart attack or something like that, and I had never I had experienced a panic attack before, but I hadn't felt that what that felt like in so long that I forgot what it felt like. So I'm thinking, oh my gosh, like I'm having a heart attack. So after that, I didn't scroll back down, but I typed in the account's name, and I reported it. I reported it, and like I said, you know what? Let me try to get some sleep. Let me try to just clear my head. So I woke. So I could not get much sleep that night. So that entire night, I just watched gospel sermons. That whole night, I stayed up. I tried to go to sleep, but I would just wake back up. I couldn't. I genuinely could not. So I stayed up. I watched ministers. I just watched them. I just watched and listened to them preach. And I could not go to sleep. I would go to sleep maybe for like a couple seconds, and then maybe like an hour, maybe an hour or two. I would go to sleep, and I would wake back up, and I could not stay asleep. That like it just bothered me the whole night. I had a panic attack. I experienced something that was genuinely traumatizing, and I wish nobody, even the 2016, 13 people that are watching now, I genuinely hope none of you have a Twitter or X account. Please do not make a account for that website. Please, if you have an account, please delete your Twitter or X account. Please, please. I'm begging you to do not, do not stay on that website. Hello, Haley. Haley, if you're a child, you shouldn't be here. I mean, you can, but um, you shouldn't want to hear any of the stuff that I'm saying. It's not. It's very informative. It is. It's very informative. Um, but it's not meant for childhood. But I will say this: if you are a child or you're not a child, okay. Frank, you said explain why. Look. Okay, I'm gonna say this again. Last Saturday, I was doom scrolling on Twitter. I was looking at, I was I was just scrolling through random stuff, but then I said, I'm saying this again. I was doom scrolling through the Jiu-Jitsu Crusader and Super Hot Fire brand risk boxing fight. If y'all know what that is, that's something that Aiden Ross. I do not support Aiden Ross, by the way. That's something that Aiden Ross has, like a boxing thing. He brings on people that are, you know, they aren't good people. So he brings them on to box or Super Hot anyway. He's a cool person, but Jiu-Jitsu Crusader is a neo-Nazi. He's a racist, and he fought Super Hot Fire. And I said, you know what? Let me see that fight. So I went on their Twitter account, the Brand Risk Twitter account, and I was scrolling through. I saw funny tweets. I saw racist tweets. Probable spam. I saw a tweet that said "shoot A, shoot high." Y'all probably, if you have, then you've probably seen tweets like those. I clicked it. I saw an account that said that, like I just said, and I clicked unblur the image. Didn't see, like I said, I didn't see the full image, but I can only assume what it was, and it was CSAM, which stands for I don't can't remember what it stands for. Um, something child something, but more so for the real for the more simpler word CP. You can probably figure out what CP means. Not cheese pizza, not Club Penguin. It stands for child, and then you can figure out the rest. So that's why I'm saying, please do not have a Twitter account. If you have a Twitter account, delete it. Don't ever go back on Twitter, please. But I'll continue what I was talking about. I don't even know where I left off at. So at night. So I couldn't really get any sleep. It was really bothering me. I just had a panic attack. My anxiety that went through the roof. It went through the roof, and at the time I was like I was just so scared. I was so scared. Like, I didn't know what to do. I don't have I haven't even talked to anyone about this. I don't have a Facebook. Don't get me started about bot website scary stuff. Yeah, I know. I don't have a Facebook either, but I'm more talking about Twitter or X. Anyway, so that whole night I was scared. My anxiety went through the roof. My heart was pounding. My brain was pounding. I just had a panic attack, which I had not had in a long time. Not a long time, but I hadn't had one, like a real one, since 2024. So it had been 2 years. And 2024 was the first time I ever even experienced what a panic attack even felt like. So next morning I got up, I took a shower, brushed my teeth, did the usual morning stuff, and it was Sunday at that point. And I just asked God, like, God, why do you allow stuff like that to happen? Like, I know people, there are probably Christians who are more experienced than me who'll be like, it's everything's for a purpose, but no, no, no. Stuff like that should not be happening on this planet. It shouldn't. It should not be a thing. Why is stuff like that so common on Twitter? Just a couple months ago, you had problems with Grok and Grok. Like people would literally, like, they would post pictures of themselves or their children, and people, and there would be literal pedophiles literally going on Twitter telling Grok to uncensor the images of children, or just straight up just perverts asking Grok to uncensor the pictures of the women that were on there, or put them in skinny, or put them in bikinis or something like that. It was only just a couple months ago, and I had experienced, not experienced, but I had seen a tweet of a person doing. It was like a viral tweet on Twitter, so I had seen them doing that, and I reported them, and their account never got taken down. It never did. It never did. And I look at Elon Musk Twitter, and I just see him. I don't even see him address stuff like this. It's like he enjoy. It's like he enjoys seeing stuff like this. Me, I am 20 years old. I turned 20 years old in November. Not saying that has anything to do with it, but I'm just saying, like, I'm still young. I didn't. I did not or ever want to see a image like that. So that next morning, so I'm gonna continue my story. So that next morning, I I got up. Like I said, I took a shower. I brushed my teeth. I tried to eat something, but like I just could not. Like, I just was not in the mood to eat. Like, my entire mood of trying to eat was just like, it was destroyed. So I said, you know what? Maybe it's my stomach. My stomach's kind of bothering me a little bit. My chest is starting to bother me. Let me take some Tums or like Pepto Bismol. Maybe help settle my stomach. And I did that, and you know what? My stomach was settled, but my chest was still bothering me. I still had just that fear from what I had just seen. So the next morning, I had work. I had work, and I went to work. I act like everything was normal. I wasn't feeling anything. I went to work smiling. Said hey to everybody. Say good morning to everybody. You know, the usual stuff that you do when you go to work. But nothing, like, nothing was normal for me though. I tried to keep my mind busy by constantly, working, trying to. I work in retail, so I'm trying to put everything out on the shelves where there's nothing left behind when I leave. And I did that, and I I just tried to have a normal day that day, and I was just constantly just saying in my mind, like God, why why. And I think it was 2 days later. I had to go. I It was 2 days later, or no, it was a day later. It was Tuesday. That was Monday. Um, I told my mom that like I was having problems with like anxiety, but like at first I didn't I just I don't have anybody to talk to about this. I don't have a therapist or anything like that. I don't. I don't. I talk to people at my job, my mother, and you know, most of them just said, "Oh, take anxiety pills," or like it sounds like it's a problem. Like you thought, like no, no, no. I think I'm genuinely traumatized from seeing that. Like I said, I've seen some pretty disturbing stuff, or even heard about some disturbing stuff on the internet, but I have never actually seen something as disturbing as that. And I don't. I really do hope that no one else has to go through what I went through. So the reason that I even started this live stream was to just raise awareness and tell my story, the story that I've been dealing with for it's Sunday. It's almost been 2 weeks since then. And just yesterday, I was like, you know what? Let me. I went on TikTok, and I have a TikTok account, but I don't use TikTok. But I went on TikTok, and I seen other videos of people also talking about this. Like people said, like they fully seen like videos and pictures, and I'm like, so I'm not the only person going through this. And notice how it's mostly Twitter. I don't really hear people now. I'm not saying Instagram, so like Instagram or TikTok, they don't have this as a problem. But I mostly hear about Twitter or X having this problem where CP is a literal problem on that website and nothing is being done about it. But you have Elon Musk constantly posting on there, reposting either racist stuff or stuff with AI in it. Like he does not care. He does not care. But I seen videos on TikTok and the people were saying, they went on to just report the accounts, and some of the accounts are even still up on Twitter, or they were up for a while until they finally got taken down. But they literally went down a complete rabbit hole on Twitter of just constantly reporting the accounts, and even some of them reported the accounts like the FBI, or it's another like it's a I forget what it's called. It's like I don't really know. It's like another child protective service thing, where you can like report stuff to. I didn't notice until yesterday, like I said. Um, but it took last week when I had to go back to work again. It like that whole day, I was stressed out, and I've been stressed out ever since. But that specific day, I was so stressed out. I went to work and I just wanted to cry. That's all I want to do. But I had to like the people at my job. They know. That's like he's a cool like they know me as like a cool person. They know I'm always smiling. I'm always saying like, hey, what's up? Good morning. And that day, I really just tried to hold in my tears. I really did, and I couldn't anymore. I had to literally run to the bathroom and I just broke down completely. I completely broke down in the bathroom. And a couple minutes later, I came out because I knew, okay, we're gonna be it's the morning time, so we gotta get it. We're getting a truck today, and I came back and there were still tears and a little bit of snot. I know it's disgusting, ill. But there was still a little bit of it showed on my face. People could tell like that you were crying. And they asked me, why were you crying? And I said, I just been having problems. They thought there's something bothering me. No, but that whole day, I just I was not like I was not feeling it. I really wasn't. I didn't want to work. I seen something in my job that I wanted to buy. And, I'm usually always buying stuff and I'm bringing it home, and it's like I wasn't even in the mood to buy it. I wasn't even to even like spend money or like I wasn't in the mood to do anything. I just wanted to just go home, curl up, all just like not show my face ever again. And like I've been getting like I've been getting like just negative thoughts in my head saying, "Oh, you should do this. You should do that to yourself." And I'm like, so so it's just I don't know what to do. I don't think I have anybody to talk to about this at all. I really don't. In real life, I don't have a lot of friends, or I really have any friends outside of my family. I'll be honest. Literally my best friend in real life is my nephew, and he's like my brother, like my big brother. And it's like, and I even have like a youth pastor, but it's like I just feel like I don't know. I just don't know. I really don't know. Like I'm tired of this anxiety and like this panic and like this stress. And then that last Wednesday, I was home and I think I had to go to work. What was it, Wednesday? I can't remember. What day was it? Oh my gosh, I can't remember. I think it was Wednesday. Yeah, I do think it was Wednesday. It was one of the days. I had to go to work again that day, and I called and I said, you know what, y'all, I can't make it. Can I just stay home for today? And they said, yeah. They said, we hope you feel, we hope you feel better. And that day, I just I said, you know what, I'm gonna stay in my room all day. I'm not gonna come out. I'm not gonna eat. I'm not gonna do anything. So I went downstairs. Um, and my mom was just sitting there, and she said she just had a dream where she saw me in the dream, and she saw that like I was hurting, and yes, I am, I am hurting. Like she could just tell like in that dream and in real life that there was something wrong. And yeah, there's, but I just like I like I have these voices in my head saying stuff to me, and it's like you can't like you can't get over something as traumatizing like that just so easily. And it's funny how like I'm saying this stuff on the internet. People don't really know who I am in real life. But I don't know. I just feel like more comfortable saying this on the internet. So, I don't know. Maybe I'm tripping. I might be tripping. I don't know. But that day, I went downstairs. I saw my mom. She was just sitting there, and I grabbed the book and I went back upstairs and I said, like I said, I'm gonna stay in my room all day. I'm not gonna come out. I'm not doing anything. I'm not even gonna eat. And I just wrote in the book. I wrote in my notepad. It was a book, notepad, whatever. I wrote, God, why? And I wrote a list of things that I would love to ask God. Like if we were to talk face to face, I would love to ask him, God, why did you allow evil to come into this world and you can stop it? Why did you allow the devil to betray you when you can literally stop him from doing anything? If you had stopped him from becoming Satan in the first place, he was your number one angel. You could have stopped him from becoming Satan and becoming a person that would constantly try to thwart you, but you didn't. Why allow bad things to happen in this world with? And after that, like I had another breakdown. I broke down in tears again. And it was like I felt shame, like shame and guilt for just even writing this stuff to him. Especially after me asking him constantly to help me, because I didn't know who else to ask for help. So I felt guilt, I felt shame. Like how could you even ask God these things? But it's like I don't know, but after that I had a complete breakdown. I broke down crying. Like I said, I had no one to talk to about this. And I just got down on my knees in my bed and I just said, you know what, God, I'm sorry. I'm sorry for sins that I've committed, and I'm gonna admit this on the internet. I would watch or not. Yeah, matter of fact, yeah, forget it. I don't even care. I don't even care. I would watch lustful things on the internet. I would not what this video. That was a lot of no, 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 no. I'm talking about like corn. Replace the regular. You know, um, I would see it on Twitter. I would see it on Cornhub or X whatever. Some of y'all probably know. Rule 34. Y'all probably know about all those websites. Um, and I would be lustful after girls on Instagram. Like I would see women on Instagram, and I would like dang, like she looked really good, and I would follow the account, and I've lied many times. I've done many sinful things, not sinful, like what, like I said, what this video is what, I mean, not this video, what this live stream is mostly talking about. But I've done, I've dealt with lust. I've lied. I've probably committed other sins that I can't really think of right now. But I got on my knees and I said, you know what, God, I'm sorry, and please forgive me for all the sins that I've committed. And I didn't know how to pray that prayer that you're supposed to pray when you want Jesus to come into your heart to save you and help you. So I went on Google and I found the Billy Graham phone number, and I called that phone number, and a lady picked up. Her name was, I remember her name. Her name was Loretta. This was it was 2 days ago, I think. I forget. Like I said, her name, I remember her name. Her name was Loretta, and she asked me some questions, and I said, yeah, I'm ready to give my life to Jesus. I don't want to bear this pain and this anxiety, this 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 trauma, this struggle. I can't bear all of it. And God said to cast all that stuff onto Him because He can help you. And it has been hard. Even still, like, I really don't fully understand how you can just cast all this stuff on Him so He can help you. But after that, and I gave my life to Christ, I felt like a warm, like, not warm because it was pretty cold, but I could feel like something was like hugging me. Something warm, like in that cold, like something warm was just hugging me. And I felt like I just felt a relief, like a small, like just a relief. So after that happened, like I calmed down, and I can't remember what happened after that, but it was yesterday. Yesterday I picked up the Bible that I have, and I started reading it, and I got to that part of Jesus's story where Jesus, he's telling his disciples what's about to happen to him. And Peter is asking, Peter and the disciples they're all asking, like, who's betraying him. And um Jesus tells Peter, like, you're gonna deny me 3 times, with the whole rooster thing. And I'm reading that story, and I was like, let me read like a couple pages of this, or not a couple pages, but like, just one passage. But someone told me to just read the entire thing until like the very ending, up to where Jesus is finally resurrected. And I did that. And dude, like, I felt sad. Like, I just felt like I genuinely just felt sad. Like, I wanted to cry again, but like something just said, like, you don't have to cry. You don't have to. It's okay. But I was like, they crucified Jesus and they for no reason. And they released a person who was a known murderer and a robber, and his name was Barabbas. They would rather have a person like that released than a probably the most innocent person that this planet will ever have, or ever had, I should say. And once again, I felt that warm hug again. And it was like, wow. Now, before, I would say that I was a Christian, but I wasn't really following the what Jesus would say to do. There would be some days where I would be like, I'm gonna go down, I'm gonna go get my Bible, and I'm gonna read it, and I wouldn't. I would go downstairs, and I would see it, and I would just walk right by. I would just look at it, and I would just walk right by it, and I would just go get something to eat, and I would immediately just get on my computer and hop on Discord or start playing games. And this past week, what's up, William? This past week, nonstop, I've just I quit. I quit the lust. I might see a beautiful woman, and I'm not gonna I don't even look at them lustfully anymore. I just can't. I just feel like I would just feel shame. Those thoughts do still come. They do still come about, you know, oh well, one more time won't hurt. It's like no, I can't. I just don't feel like it. And especially since what I've gone through, like I really just do not feel like it. But this live stream is going on for almost an hour, and I've just been talking. So I just want to say this to say, please, if y'all can spread this. I know this live stream is pretty long. I know, but if you can spread the live stream, spread the message. Delete to just completely just deactivate your Twitters. Honestly, I would recommend just delete just getting off social media in general. YouTube is fine, but I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. But this past week, and like even yesterday, even after reading those scriptures, and I said I felt like a warm hug wrapping around me. The anxiety still kicked in, and I was still wondering, like, why was it still here? But that night when it first happened, like I said, I honestly felt like I was going to die. Like that was it. And what scared me was not even just me seeing that image, but the fact that like I was going to die, and I was going to die without Christ. So that also genuinely scared me. Like just the fact of just the thought or fact, whatever, of people dying and going to hell because you did not accept Jesus Christ into your life. I know people might say, "Oh well, Christianity is a cult, or it's a false religion." No, it's not a cult, and it's not a religion. It's a relationship. It's not a cult because you can't leave cults and cults. I learned this recently. Christianity is not a cult. Okay, is that's cults and Christianity. It's the complete opposite. You have a choice to join, and you have a choice to leave Christianity if you decide to. Christianity is not. Now I know I've heard stories about people being forced into Christianity. I heard people being forced into business, but like those stories are. I'm not saying they're false. No, I'm not saying that. I don't know why I don't keep in my head. Those stories are for people with strict parents, and the parents only want best for their children, but they went about it the wrong way. And I say Christianity is not a religion because it's not. It's no. It's a relationship with God. That's the difference. I can't fully explain it. So I'm still in the beginning of this, but that's something that I completely understand. It's not a religion. Christianity is not a religion. It is a relationship. You have a relationship with Jesus Christ, just like his disciples had a relationship with him when he was still alive and when they were still alive. They all had a relationship together. They were all like brothers, even though they weren't related to Jesus. Jesus treated them like brothers. Peter was willing to sacrifice himself, or also willing to fight for Jesus. And that scene where Judas finds Jesus and the disciples, and he kisses Jesus. Peter was literally willing to fight for Jesus. That is a relationship. Now you might say, "Oh well, Peter, you know, he denied Jesus 3 times. Well, he was scared. He honestly was scared." And I like let's be for real. You would be too. And it was already said that he would do that. So I say all this to say that I might just take a break from the internet for a while. Um, Most definitely Twitter. I completely deleted Twitter. I will never go back onto that website, probably ever again. Matter of fact, not even probably. I will never step foot back onto Twitter. And honestly, Elon Musk, you need to do something. The FBI, y'all need to do something about that website. Y'all need to either shut that website down or like arrest Elon Musk or like something. Something needs to be done. Something has to be done because there are people on there that are literally being traumatized like myself. Now, like I said earlier in this live stream, you can go onto TikTok and you can type in, I typed in Twitter has a C problem. I didn't type in the full thing. I typed in Twitter has a C problem on TikTok. And on Twitter, you can type in um, do not click show probable spam. Do not click, type that in, and you'll see many tweets saying please do not click show probable spam, because all these people have had the exact same experience as me, and the same thing goes for TikTok. And you can type in some other stuff on Twitter as well. Um, that'll show you tweets of people experiencing this. There was even a big one that went viral as well, and people just I don't know, like stuff like that gets ignored, but I feel like the best way to get an understanding of what I'm talking about is going on TikTok, type in Twitter has a C problem, and there's a couple of videos that I've seen where there is a light skinned lady, there's a dark skinned man, there's a also another dark skinned lady. Just I'm not even gonna bring like what their skin color. I'm just saying these are some of the videos that I've seen where people talk about this and they look genuinely traumatized, and they said that we reported it and barely anything is done because you can't stop it. There's even a guy, I assume the person is transgender. I even seen their TikTok, and they said they saw it and they went down a complete rabbit hole of just reporting the accounts, constantly reporting, and they get nowhere because this just won't end. You know, like this whole past week, I honestly haven't even wanted to just go outside. Like I said, I just wanted to just stay in the house, curl up in a ball. And, you know, I have a job. I have to make money. I have to live. I have to eat. And tomorrow I have to go to work. Tomorrow and Tuesday. And do I want to? No, I just want to stay home. And usually, you know, that's the usual feeling I feel. But like, I want to stay home is that like I just don't feel like doing anything. You know, usually I'll say, "Oh, I don't really feel like going to work today, but you know, let me get up. You know, I want to make money." And it's just like I just don't I just don't feel like going. And you know, today is Sunday. I said I went to church today. There's a church around the corner, a couple blocks away from me, and he said, "You know what? I want to go to church today. I haven't been to church in a long time." So he said, so I'm not. I said not you. I said today I want to go to church, and honestly, right now I don't even feel like it. I really don't. I just really want to just stay in the house. Now I can stay in the house and I can still watch a church service live stream, but I think it'll be better for me to just go out and hear something. Now the time is currently 8:38, and church usually starts around 10. Like I said, I don't know. I just all week. It's been kind of hard to sleep. I'm not sure if like my sleep schedule is kind of messed up because I do kind of like take naps going in towards like the afternoon, like the evening, like around maybe. You know, I usually take naps like as soon as I come home from work, I'll take like maybe like a 3 hour nap, and then or you sometimes I'll take naps for like way longer, but you know recently just it's not been hard to sleep. More so is that I constantly wake up around the exact same time every night, and when I wake up, it's just like my heart is just like it's pounding, and I'm like, I just I wake up and my heart is just pounding, but it's like I didn't have like a nightmare. I've only recently had a couple of nightmares, and the couple of nightmares that I've had, they were about my family. So right now I'm very like I'm in a very fearful mindset of just the unknown, and I'm traumatized, and all that, and I wish I wasn't. I guess talk about the nightmare as well. The nightmare has something to do with one of my family members, my oldest sister. Something happened to her in my dream, and I woke up and like it's just a panic. It scared me. It genuinely scared me, and I hate fear. I hate I hate fear. I wish fear never even existed on this planet. And people in general, it should not exist. But just the past nights, I've just been waking up around the exact same time, and I wake up in like a panic, even though like my mind is calm, but my heart isn't. My heart is literally like pounding out of my chest. Now right now that I'm talking, right now as I'm talking, it's my heart is at a pretty normal rate, and that might be because I'm finally starting to talk about this. I hope it is. But even last night, I took a nap. For maybe like a couple hours. Honestly, I took a nap around maybe like between like 5 something, and then I woke up and it was like 8, and I took a nap. Went back to sleep. It was like 9 at that point. My mom came home. I'd opened the door for her. Um, so maybe that's why. So I'm sorry. I talk really fast. I'm really sorry about that. I talk really fast, and I sound like I'm stuttering. Maybe I should stop taking naps, like long naps. I know like naps usually, supposed to be like maybe like an hour or two, just to get a refresher. But I'm taking like these long naps, and like I'm not a person that likes to stay up during the nighttime. The nighttime, I want to sleep. I do not want to be up doing anything. And there's a couple times on this channel where I've stayed up all night. There was that one time where I was streaming Fortnite, and I had stayed up pretty much all night until like 4 in the morning. And I think either I had like school. I think I had school, but yeah. No, I didn't have school. I think I was already graduated. I had to do something that time. I forget what it was. Um, but yeah. So I guess I'll let y'all know what happens next. I think I do really want to switch up the content. I know I said I wanted to make content where I'm just talking and playing video games, but I think I would rather. I can still do that. I'm not saying that I won't do that, but I'm saying also that I think I would like to also get on here and start reading scriptures every day. Just make a YouTube short reading a scripture. Just reminding myself and people out there of God's word. I know that there's no one watching this right now, and that's fine. But all I ask is that you please spread this message. Um, to anyone. To just spread it. Just spread this message to anyone. I forget what I named this live stream's title, but just spread the live stream. I don't want to gain any subscribers from this, but you do subscribe, that's fine. But I just want the message itself to be spreaded. So I'll see y'all in maybe another video or a live stream, or maybe I'll make a community post giving updates on just my life or whatever I'm going through or what God is taking me through. So yeah, I hope everybody has a good day. I hope I have a good day. And I'm not really good when it comes to praying, but you know what? Before I end this live stream off, I'll pray. That's what I'll do. I'll pray. So, that anybody who will watch this later, or who has watched this, Pritchett, I hope you keep him safe, or her. Haley, I hope you keep her safe. Frank, I hope you keep him safe. William, I hope you keep all of these people safe that have watched this live stream. Even the ones that have watched this live stream and they skip past it. Father God, please let myself and these people have good days. Keep their minds, their hearts, and their souls and their bodies healthy. Please reveal yourself to them so that when the time comes that they may also join not only myself in heaven if the time does come, that their family members as well may join us, because no one should ever want to go to hell or live just a horrible lifestyle. So please, God, I ask you that you save everybody who is watching this right now and who will watch this in the future. In Jesus' name, amen. All right, everybody. I'll talk to y'all later. Peace out.